Hey guys, welcome back to another build order guide. I haven't done one of these in a while, but I haven't felt really confident enough to show off one of my builds for Protoss in a long while, actually. So I just got to Diamond, and yesterday I had quite a nice win streak, and the majority of my the majority of my thanks is to my Zerg. I've been doing really, really well against Zerg, and Zerg and Terran right now I'm really like smashing up. Protoss, I just need to figure out how to stop cannon rushes, and this would go above 50, but I get cannon rushed a lot. But right now Zerg is my strongest matchup, and I feel like a lot of the Protoss I talk to have a lot of problems with Zerg. So I've done a couple of videos about how to stop the Bane bust, which is, I would say, a lot of Protoss's problem that I talk to in, platinum and gold in the clan and stuff like that, is they have these issues with Bane busts and things like that. So if you're interested, check out some of the other videos I have. I think I just had one up yesterday about that. But today I want to talk about my Zerg. I've been beating a lot of, yesterday, the real reason that I really shot up into Diamond right now is because I got a whole pocket of Zergs, and I just kept winning. Just all of these were Zergs, and I just won every game in a row. And most of my losses, I can't honestly remember the last time I lost to a Zerg. It's probably been maybe a week and a half. So I wanted to kind of share this build, and hopefully you guys too can get the hang of this. So I'll maybe show you in two videos of this match, but I'll put the build order in the link description below, and hopefully you can learn from it. But let's talk about this. So again, this is yesterday when I was rocketing up to Diamond. This is against X Zerg, the Platinum. But my next video I will show is against a Diamond Zerg as well. So don't let it fool you too much. But I'm just gonna stay on my camera, and let's talk about what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna play it at normal speed. So this is essentially an Oracle Phoenix opener into an Adept push. Now the first thing I do is I'm going to scout off of the Pylon to see if he's going pool first or not. And if he's not going pool first, or if he is going pool first, I'll be able to block that hatch and kind of throw him off of his build from the very beginning. And that's what this whole build is about. It's about small victories, small victories, small victories, up until your big push at 5.5 minutes. Getting a mass amount of damage done, and then when he comes back, you force him to do an all-in, and then you follow that up with double chronoed out immortals into chargelot immortal archon. So right here I see, okay, great, it looks like he's going pool first. This is about 17-16 supply, right before the 1 minute mark, and I don't want to lose the probe. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to patrol back and forth between, if you look at the minimap, between his third base here and his third base here. I want to know which third he's going to take, and I don't want to lose this probe. So I'm just going to set it to patrol back and forth there, and kind of see when he's going to move out. At about 2.5 minutes, if he still hasn't put up a third, I'm going to go in and check what's going on. But during this, I'm going to take my second here at 20 supply. And right as I take the second, the gateway's finished, I'm going to drop my cybercore. And I like this match because it has such a small choke point. You can actually wall up with just the gate, cybercore, and one zealot. So it's not a really good map for anyone to do Bane busts against. So get a second gas as soon as I'm done with that, and then I'm going to immediately get a Pylon at 22. And then I'm going to get another worker as soon as I got the cash for it. So this opener until this point is, I do this every game, regardless if they're going pool first, regardless of whatever they're doing. This is my opener. Now I see a drone come out, so it looks like he's trying to take his second or his third hatch. So I'm actually feeling really good. And now I'm going to chrono out an Adept, and before I get Warp Prism, I'm going to actually open up my Stargate. I see he's taken a third on the map, so I'm just thinking, okay, let's just stay with my build. So I get a Stargate before Warp Prism. Then I'm going to start my second Adept. And then right as my Nexus finishes, I should have about 50 gas to open up my Cybernetics core. Now, if you noticed also, while I was saturating my gas in my main, I'm saturating my gas slowly. I don't really need all this gas right now. What I really want is minerals so I can get drones and I can get other units out. So this Adept the whole purpose of this adept is to see how many workers are on his second base. So I'm going to actually finish the shade, and I see, oh god, there's no workers here. So I'm a little bit worried if he's going to all in. So I'm going to go up into the main and see what's going on. Now there's a chance that I just kind of threw him off of his build. And if you look, he only has a couple lings right now. He's not doing his big build all in, and I kind of am noticing, all right, I lost that adept. I should have brought it home. But I wanted to see if he had like 2 gases and a roach, and I realized that he's not really on any gas. I didn't see anything mining at that point. So I'm feeling okay. I have to be careful. I don't want to like just die to a vein bust, but I'm feeling relatively safe. So I do expand. I expand out. I expand out after this. So I go, depending on what I'm seeing, I'm either going to go Phoenix first or Oracle first. It doesn't really change my build. But as soon as I start my Oracle, I'm going to drop my Twilight Council. I actually get it a little bit early on this map, on this game. So I do it, how the build, I'll put in the description. What I usually do is Phoenix, but then I go Oracle, and after I start this Oracle, I'll start the Twilight Council. But because I didn't see what was really going on over here, I wanted to get my Twilight Council first so I can maybe get Galves out. I know that he was going 3 hatch, so it's not going to be anything super massive aggressive. But I just wanted to be safe. So let's just continue. I get a Phoenix out first, and I'm just going to shoo away his overlords to try to supply block him, make him use his minerals on stuff that he's already made. Now, as soon as you start Galves, you take your 3rd base. As soon as these are done, you're going to. This is right now usually when I take my Twilight. Open up my 2nd and 3rd gas. Don't get supply blocked. Get this Pylon so you don't get supply blocked. And then before the big warp in, I'm going to go and get my 3rd. So usually I get about 3 minutes and 30 seconds, 4 minutes 30 seconds. So it's a little late. Not the sharpest build in the world, but I'm still working on it. You're gonna do a warp in here of the adepts, and now you're going to do 2 robos behind this. Robos. At this time, this is when my Oracle is going in across the map, and I accidentally lose it again. So the control on this is a little bit bad. Usually that Oracle hits a little bit faster, because instead of getting the Twilight first, I'll get the Oracle out first, or instead of going Phoenix first, I'll go Oracle first. So what I really should have done with this Oracle is check to see what's going on, but I see that he's going, his tech is going down now. So I still get the Scout. I don't know what tech it was. I can assume that it's 2 evolution chambers and a Roach Warden, but it could have been a Baneling Nest. It's very possible. I couldn't see it from there. But just from all of the Zerg I've played, I felt comfortable that, okay, he's going double Evo and some tech right about now. This is a little bit late for what he should be doing, but what this means is that he doesn't have a lot of attacking units right now. He's droning up, and that's exactly what's going on. He's trying to drone up, but I'm coming in and trying to attack him. I haven't really done any damage yet, but he's not making a whole bunch of workers when I see this. I kind of have that read right now. So let's continue. So you got 3 adepts, you go in, you get your double robos, and then you're going to get 3 more adepts. 1, 2, 3. Now I should have 9 adepts if I didn't lose my very first one. I'm going to chrono out the upgrade, and I want to hit on his side of the map at 5:30 with 9 adepts. So 5:20, I'm moving out. I'm moving out. I've got to move out a little bit faster. I should have moved out a little bit quicker, but this build's off by a couple seconds. It's not the most perfect build in the world. There we go. So if you look right now, in a perfect world, the upgrade would have hit 5:30, and I would have been in his mineral line right now. Boom, hitting with the adepts. But right now I'm about halfway across the map. So the more you clean this build that I'm going to put up, the faster you're going to be able to get across. So let's talk about the follow-up about this. As soon as you're done with that, what you're going to want to do is get 3 gates behind this when you start your charge. So I'm going to also try to start charge up here soon. I've got charge started. So into the mineral line, try to kill as many workers as I can. The trick is you don't want to look at this too much. I'm looking at this a little bit too much now, but I'm going to shade away, and now I'm going to look away. So I shade up, and now I'm basically done. Oh, here, I'm going to shade up now. There, I shade up, and now I'm back to my base. So 2 immortals started. I've got my 3 extra gates going down. Still keep killing workers. I'm going to shade across again and look back. Still just making workers behind this. 3 sentries are going to come down. Now this is going to stop any counter pushes he's going to try to do while I'm over here. I've only killed 2 of his workers. I haven't killed a lot of them. But right here. Here's one mistake I make in the build. Right about 6:30, after your first 2 immortals pop, you need to start your 2 forges. Boom Boom Forge is what you should be doing before you make this big warp in. But I'm a little bit slow. It should go 2 forges, and then you should do your Templar Archives right about 6:30 behind this. So just keep that in mind. In the build order I'm going to put up, you should do that right at this point here. But I haven't done it yet. So I'm just kind of running him around. He's got his roaches. I don't want to attack his roaches too much. But you know what I am doing? I haven't killed a lot of his workers, but I have denied him so much mining time. So I'm going to run away. I'm going to hit his worker line one more time. And during this time, I'm still just making workers and making workers. So right now, I'm on 52. He's on 43. I'm on 3 bases. You know, this is a big advantage for what I'm doing here. And I'm just making immortals, making workers as much as I can. I've got full map control. I'm coming home with my adepts now. He was doing a really good job defending. He actually did a fantastic job defending. So make sure that you're not over microing your adepts. This is the hardest part of this build. If you're over microing these adepts and you're not doing this follow up, getting your next level of tech, getting your extra gates online, droning up, then all you're gonna do is, I lost all my adepts, I have nothing to come back to. Let's see, I haven't lost all of my adepts. I've lost about 3. I've killed 4 of his workers. I've denied him a whole mess of mining time. But now I've got 3 immortals, 2 more about to finish, and I've got an archon about to be made. And I'm still on more workers than he is. I'm about 10 workers up on he is. I'm almost at 60 workers. So I'm in a super good place right now. Let's check out upgrades. He's got 1-1 finished. I've got charge and glaives. I should be starting again. 1-1 should just about be finishing up right now if I had started it on time and chronoed it out. But again, this build isn't perfect. I'm just trying to show you in a live game how you execute this kind of a build in kind of low diamond level. So there it is. I remember, damn it, I don't have my forges. I was ready to start +2/+2. And now I always go up to 8 gates. If I have 8 gates and I'm not able to spend my cash, I expand out more and I get more robos, or I get more stargates, or I start teching up towards Tempest, or just something. So now I've got my charge done. I'm going to make nothing but archons. I haven't made storm yet because he's going roaches. If he's going mass hydra, I love to get storm against hydra bane. But right now he's going roaches, so instead of having storm in that, I really want to have immortals. That's really what I want against this build, is a bunch of immortals. I'm kind of banking up some cash right now so I can get my upgrades, so I'm not really making a lot of gas-heavy units. I want to start 1-1 as soon as possible. As soon as I got the cash, there it is. So I should be up to about 66 workers right now. There it is. And now I'm just kind of waiting until I've got a strong enough army where I feel safe moving out. Probably wait for a +1 timing or something. Now, here's the one thing that you might notice about the minimap. I don't have a lot of map vision, so I'm gonna go try to take my 3rd. I'm gonna go try to expand to my 4th. But these zealots, let's see, these zealots, I'm gonna actually send out some zealots around the map so I can have this map vision to see when he's gonna try to push in, so I can stop him when he's coming in. This is something I've been really worried about. So my Phoenix has also been kind of patrolling around, making sure that there's no dropper lords coming into my base, or no Nidus trying to come in to get vision. I'm really thinking about all this at the same time. So there's little things about, okay, what's your Phoenix doing? I haven't used it in a long time. It's still there. It's still defending me from Nidus counters and things. So here it is. I'm going to send a zealot over there. I'm going to send a zealot over here. If you look at the minimap now, I've got this kind of map vision going across, and I'm just waiting to see when he's coming. So I see him coming in. He's sending in a couple units right now. He's sending in units kind of all over the place to see where I am. But I've got 170 supply versus 122 supply of chargelot immortal archon. It's going to be 1-1 very soon. Yeah, and as soon as 1-1 starts, I'm going to start 2-2, and then I'm going to move out. So I'm afraid of maybe lurkers. So I've got some observers out here. This is a problem that I've had in the past, is Hydra into Lurker. There it is. Now it's time to move out. One more big warp in, and then I'm moving out. Now, I should bring a warp prism with me. Bringing a warp prism with me would have been the best thing I could have done, but I'm not really too worried about it. I'm coming in to try to block it off. Not really worried. And I'm hitting him out on the other side of the map, but I'm more worried about my macro. I have a lot of Protoss right now. I'm not really worried about it. There he is. I get some storms in. I've got a ton of chargelot immortal, and then you just push out. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to float 1,000 minerals at this time. But one of the little tricks I do is I'll control click all of my zealots, and I'll send them into the third base while I'm attacking the main. So he's got to pick. Okay, am I gonna try to take out this with my army, or am I gonna try to take out this with my army? And he's gonna lose one of his bases, and then I'll just recall home and continue forward. So, a little bit of I love storming mineral lines too. I kind of knew that I was really winning at this point, but yeah, still, you shouldn't float as many minerals as I'm floating right now. You should be upping your tech into getting some more stargates, so you can tech into like final unit air units, or getting into what is it, carriers, or getting a mothership core or something like that. So he's going lurkers, but again, I've got the observers out. I'm not really worried about it. I know I'm floating 2k, but I'm also at 181 supply, 4 bases, 68 workers, 70 workers, and then I win. So this is the build. I'll post it below. I want to show you one point though. So this time, what happens is I only got 4 kills with my adept push, and what I wanted to show with this build is while you're doing that adept push, you really need to be getting your next level of tech. You really need to get your upgrades. This was a really bad mistake of mine on this one. But you also need to be droning up this second base while you're doing all that. I want to show you one more build, one more example of this same build, but there's a convergence point where I shift over to an all-in because I did so much damage with my adepts. So I'm just going to kind of put it on ×2 this time, and we're going to talk through it again. So this will be kind of a quick overview of what's going on. But scout off of the probe. I'm just going to put it on my camera so you can only see what I'm seeing. Scout off the probe. You're going to chrono as soon as your pylon finishes. Get over there and try to block his base. There he is. I see that he's trying to expand out, so I block it. You're going to get your gas. As soon as your gas is done, your first probe comes in here. Then your second probe, you rally over to your main, or your natural. Go up and take a look. Okay, I see he's got his pool about halfway done, but he's still just started his hatch because I blocked it. Not too worried about it. Now, one of the things that you have to realize is if you block this hatch, you might force them to pool first. So this is a time that I did force him to pool first. So what I'm going to do is the exact same build, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. So this map, you've got this large opening right here, right? I am going to drop my starport as part of this wall. So it's going to do one of two things. It's going to stop the... I can't hide it anymore. I can't hide that I've got a Stargate anymore, but I can make my wall immediately. If he's going to try to get some lings across to say, F you for trying to stop my hatch, I had to go pool first, I'm going to get some damage across, I can still defend this. So, just one of the little things about building positioning and when you're playing through this game. I'm going Oracle first this time. I see that he's got an Overlord right here, and this is in the front wall. There's no reason in me getting a Phoenix or anything like that. I'm just going to try to get across and do some damage. So I get over there, and I shade in. Let me just show you this really quick. I get over here, and I just shade in, see that he's got drones, and I cancel out. He's got more than 8, so I'm like, okay, he's got another base. I'm going to see if he's got a third. He still might not have a third. Yeah, he does. I'm going to go and see immediately. I'm like, oh god, if he doesn't have a third, then we are in hurt town. So I get over there, I see, okay, thank Christ he's got a third. Get in there with my Oracle a little bit. So again, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the third. I kind of force him. Yeah, he does do a little bit of a push out against me. I take my third. Do your warp in. Boom, 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 boom. When you warp in, 2 robos in your main. Second warp in. I get some pylons too. Don't forget your pylons to get supply block. Now I'm at my 9 adepts. Now he's coming across to fight me. I see it with my oracle going around. I see that he's got a bunch of lings out, so I don't move out right away. This time my Glaves is a little bit late. I didn't chrono it the second time, so it's a little bit on the late side. But he's got a whole mess of Zerglings over my base. As soon as he starts trying to attack my my line here, I get over here, and now we're gonna head across the map. So during this time, what are we gonna do? We're going to start making immortals. We got a 3 sentries on the wall in case he comes out. 2 immortals. We're gonna start up charge as soon as we can. And during this time again, now I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this really quick. Shading and microing this. If you see his units over here, shade away. If you don't see his units, don't cancel this shade. So watch this. So he's gonna try to come out and get me. He's gonna run over to here. I think this was the second time. Hold on, let me see here. Yeah, here we go. This is what I want to show you. Right, so this is the micro that I'm talking about. All right, so I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna micro this. I'm gonna shade up towards this third. I always like to shade into the third first. See if I can kill that hatch. All right, now here, ready? Watch this. So I'm gonna attack. I'm gonna shade across. Now watch his Zerglings. His Zerglings are gonna follow this shade. I don't see units over here. Cancel it. Now his Zerglings are over here out of position. Just killing all the workers in the world. Now during this time, what am I doing? Getting my sentries, getting my archon, my chargelots. I started a void ray because I like having a void ray against banelings. It's just I like doing it. It's just my little personal style. Now one of the other things I'm looking at now is, okay, I killed a lot of his workers. So you know what I don't need anymore? I don't need to make workers right now. What I need to do is to make units. I need to spend my cash also. But at this point in the game, if you're up by like a lot of workers, you don't need to make more. You just need to defend your worker count. So it's really dangerous unless you kill his workers like this to try to drone up over about eight workers above your opponent. Is my opinion, is what I've heard a lot of much higher Grandmaster level players say. So let's take a look at the rest of this build based on what I'm doing. So this is kind of the convergence point. When you get your adepts over there, if you're not doing damage, just like we did in the last replay, keep on macroing out. Get more units and everything like that. But if you get a really nasty like base kill, he can do one of 2 things. He can re-drone, and you'll just have a whole bunch of stuff on your side, or he can make units and come out and attack. If he re-drones, I'm gonna kill him because now I'm all inning. If he tries to make units, all I need to do is defend it once, and then I have more units than he does to defend it. So instead of getting upgrades, instead of getting my next tech of archons like I did in the last game, I'm going to get 4 more gates. I'm going to really get a whole bunch of gates, and I'm just going to go heavy adept. Heavy adept immortal sentry. I don't even think I get charge. I'm getting charge. I'm going to go charge lot, sentry, immortal. I've already got a whole heap of adepts, and now I'm just trying to hold off when he's going to come by. So I've got this little wall here so he can't necessarily get in so easily, and I'm just waiting for an attack to come in. So my Phoenix I've pulled in with the select alarm key on accident. I just got a little bit excited. So I should have had my Phoenix flying around here. I would have been able to see this and stop it a little bit easier. But I am already saying, all right, I don't want to get hit with this wall. I've done a whole video about building placement with Zerg. So again, he's killed 13 of my workers. I've killed 27 of his. I'm still up 5 workers on him, but now we're gonna start pushing across. So this is why you get the double immortals. So the immortal sentry is able to just rock and roll. And now we're about to get charge. I'm getting more adepts so I can shade across. But I'll show you what I'm going to do with these adepts. This is kind of one of these little nasty things that I like to do. And I can do it at the lower level. I don't know if it's going to be effective all the way up onto the highest levels. But I'll kind of show you what I'm looking at here with the control on this. So the whole thing I'm trying to do is just spend my cash on sentries and charge lots. So I see the banelings. I'm going to pull the banelings back towards me. I'm going to shade these guys all the way over to this base. Boom. They're in. They're killing these workers. I've got his whole army over here. This is just how we play. Let's pull all of his workers together. All I have to do is defend Sentry Immortal. He doesn't have any upgrades. I don't have any upgrades. I have a bunch more stalkers coming across the map. So this is the point where I'm like, okay, I don't need to take this fight right now. I have workers. So this is what I was talking about. When you're way up on workers, you don't need to keep making workers, you need to keep making units. So he doesn't have any Hydra speed or anything like that. I saw by just how slow his Hydras are moving on creep. So I know I can outrun them home. And when I get home, I'm still warping in. So this is the kind of quote-unquote 50 worker all-in aspect, or 50 worker all-in version of this build. Sentry Immortal chargelot. Boom, boom, boom. Slice and dice. And you're in. So I wanted to show you kind of two different ways to play this build. One if you get huge damage, and one if you don't get huge damage. A lot of times I'll get in and get massive damage, and I'll already be like at two completely saturated bases by the time my adepts finally die. But I mean, you don't need to kill all of your adepts. You don't need to throw all of them into their death. I think a good rule to start with this is shade into the natural, shade into the main, shade into the natural, shade home. So it's one shade, two shades, three shades, shade home. And if you do that, then you should keep a couple of your adepts still alive, and you should be able to take a lot of his workers down, or like I did in the last game, just delay so much of his mining time where all of his workers are kind of clumped up together while you're making your workers back at the time. So a little bit of a longer video. I'm going to post the build order in the link below. Again, the biggest mistake I make on this is the 6 minutes and 30 seconds double forge. I forget a lot, so forgive me. But 61% win rate against Zerg into low diamond is, I think, a pretty darn good win rate. So if you're having problems with Zerg, leave me a comment. I'll be happy to try to help you with whatever I can. But good luck, have fun on the ladder, and I will see you in the next one.